Welcome to the 2013 SB Nation NCAA Tournament Bracket Spectacular. We are now talking Eastern Region, of course, with Rob Manganaro from South Orange Juice and Coach Nick from BBallBreakdown. All sorts of fun videos. Indiana's the #1 seed in the Eastern Region. They're going to end up in Washington, D.C., a team near the top of the rankings all season long. So what jumps out to you about Indiana immediately? Let's go, Coach Nick.
Well, you got Tom Crean, who's been, maligned a little bit on Twitter with his coaching and his substitution patterns, but the team plays really well.
And how he treats Michigan assistants, apparently, too.
I thought you were going to say, and his hair, which is also part of it.
Rough.
But anyhow, but they do some great stuff. They do horns, which is my favorite set with a double high post. They do lots of good stuff with their defense. But the key here, though, is Zeller. They have a hard time scoring when he's not in there because he takes so much pressure off of everybody else and everyone's focused on him defensively. And if he ends up getting into foul trouble or something like that, they're going to have a hard time scoring. They're not going to go up and down as easy as they like to do. And they might encounter some trouble.
Another star in Victor Oladipo, too, who does also very athletic. More athletic, I would say, than the three of us sitting at this table. All right, so of course, Indiana has looked quite good. They have an 8-9 at the other end, not the other end, right up against them. Is there, you have Temple as a 9 and you have North Carolina State as an 8. Is there a threat there to Indiana?
Yeah, I don't see a threat there right now. I think Indiana is well suited to get past the first weekend easy. And, nothing on, NC State does have some size. They go down low a little bit with Leslie. But their offense does stagnate a little bit, especially under pressure, which Indiana can bring. And so I don't see them being threatened at all in the first couple rounds easy.
All right, and the 12-5 is always a matchup that people look to as an upset time. You have UNLV as the 5 and Cal as the 12. Cal, of course, boasts Mike Montgomery, who's been in the tournament for 73 straight years or something like that. Alan Crabb, of course, the Pac-12 Player of the Year at a guard position for the Golden Bears. UNLV has NBA players. Is this a game you feel strongly about? Did you see anything from Cal that says they're a 12 seed that could move on?
Not really. I mean, I know they had a couple of quality wins during the season, but they don't look like they have the athletes that can compete with UNLV. So.
All right, that's fair enough to me. All right, let's get into the heavyweight. At least the unspoken elephant at this table, the Syracuse Orange, which vitamin C is terrific. So Syracuse comes into the tournament playing well. Obviously, they've been an up and down team this year. Injuries have been an issue. Academics have been an issue. So what is the state of the Cuse as we stand now?
It's very much in flux, I think. They stumbled into the Big East tournament. They lost 4 of 5, got absolutely destroyed, scored 39 points against Georgetown, all-time low under Boeheim.
Yep.
But then they played really well. They, one of their guys got, of course, really hot from deep. Now, it's interesting because this team lost 3 guys to the NBA last year. Chris Joseph, Fat Mello, Dion Waiters, 6th Man of the Year in the Big East last year. Really, I thought that was going to kind of decimate them a little bit. But, Michael Carter-Williams, top 5 in the nation in steals, top 5 in the nation in assists. He's really kind of carrying that team. This should be an interesting matchup. I don't think they get out of the Sweet 16. I think they do meet Indiana, though.
So they have Montana, I want to say a 13 seed. The Grizzlies were here last year. How susceptible, especially when you talk about Syracuse's 2-3 zone and what Boeheim likes to run, how susceptible are they to a team, an experienced team, a team that could catch fire like Montana?
I got to tell you, every time I see a team turn the ball over against their 2-3 zone, you'll hear me hit my head because the zone, no team that runs 2-3 zone exclusively should be able to get out of the first weekend. It shouldn't. And when the year they won with Mello, the coaches and I just commiserated around the country because even though it's a decent zone and it does work from time to time, when you run it enough times, teams get used to it. And you can see it gets lit up once they get into tune. Louisville just did it to them. So I don't see them making a deep run at all. And if Montana can get the right kind of balance and shooting, then they can give Syracuse a run.
All right, we'll go to the bottom half of the bracket. Butler, a team used to hunting the top seeds, is now the Hunter, whatever. I think they're the Hunty. So they have Bucknell. Bucknell, a team with a star. And as we've seen, smaller teams with stars can advance. So is this an opportunity for the Patriot League to perhaps move on?
I think Coach and I might differ here. I think so. I mean, this is a 6'11" guy. I think he leads the nation in rebounds.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous player. He shoots free throws 80%, 7-footer, shoots 35% from deep. So he can really do a bit of everything. And he's like the Dirk Nowitzki of the Patriot League. So he's really kind of tearing up that league. I don't know if it'll be enough, but I have to, you know, pick an upset. I'm going to pick him to upset.
Is Butler reliant on shooting, getting hot? Are they? They're not obviously not a big team traditionally.
Right. I mean, they just run the crap out of their offense. Can I say that? Is that okay?
Yeah. No.
Good.
By all means.
They really run their offense. They're very, very disciplined with what Brad Stevens wants them to do. They're not going to make a mistake.
Right.
They have the culture of winning and going deep into the tournament. So they're very tough. I've seen Bucknell have trouble with pressure, getting the ball down low and getting it to their guys. So I feel like they're tough, and if they can kind of get on a roll and Rodney starts heating up, like he can make shots from anywhere on the court, they could kind of go. I think they could go for a few extra rounds there.
Let's quickly go to the very, very bottom of that bracket. Of course, Miami as a 2 seed, a team that's been near the top. Surprisingly so, Jim Larrañaga has been there before with George Mason. We're actually going to go to Brody Logan from State of the U with his take on Miami's run and how far they can go.
Miami got the 2 seed, which is a joke. The very first team in NCAA history to win the ACC regular season and the ACC tournament and not get a #1 seed. If Duke had the season Miami had, Duke would be a #1 seed. If North Carolina had the season Miami had, they'd be a #1 seed. It's a complete joke. Miami's beat Duke, North Carolina 3 times. They've beaten Michigan State. What was their only bad loss, Florida Gulf Coast, is in the tournament. They're still a horrible team. They beat Miami, but they're in the tournament. I think there's some sort of anti-Miami bias going on here, and a pro-Gonzaga bias because they are the brand name, even though they face 2 teams in the RPI top 50. Miami's a top 5 RPI team, top strength of schedule. I don't get it. That being said, I don't think Miami's going to go very far in the tournament. They don't shoot free throws very well, but I love Shane Larkin, point guard. He makes everything happen. It's just Reggie Johnson went from being an all-ACC talent to a guy who can't even catch a basketball, which is a pretty precipitous drop. So I hope Miami goes far. Don't think they will. We have a tough matchup with an Ocean facing the Pacific in the first round. So that's never easy. I'm calling my shot. This is the year a 16 beats a 1. I don't know which one it is. I'm hoping it'll be Western Kentucky because they're fun mascots. But no, a 16 will beat a 1 this year. I'm calling it, and it's happening.
All right, thank you very much, Brody. Of course, Miami, if they, let's assume they get by Pacific. We love Stockton. We love you, Central Valley of California. But Miami's going to be okay. Marquette is a team, though, that is intriguing, especially because I don't think a lot of people give Buzz Williams the credit perhaps he deserves as a scheme guy, as a recruiter, finding the guys that fit that system.
He's not getting the buzz?
He's not getting the C because that's humor. All right, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they had Jay Crowder, who was the Big East Player of the Year last year, lost Darius Johnson-Odom last year, both players to the NBA, yet somehow, some way, these guys step up. A couple of really good players. Vanderblue has stepped up, averaging 15 a game.
That's his name, by the way.
Vanderblue.
Solid.
Okay,
continue.
I thought it was a hyphenated last name at first. Devontae Gardner is a big man down low. I know you like him. Yeah, I think he shoots at 60% from the field. Like him a lot. If they can play a little inside out, maybe stretch the court, they might have a chance to go fairly deep into this. All
right, well, Cinderella possibilities in this side of the bracket. I think Bucknell, possibly, that does make a little bit of sense. I'm going to say Colorado. Again, a West Coast homer. Andre Roberson is quite good as a big. I think he can make some people unhappy. So this has been the Eastern region. They're going to end up in Washington, D.C. Of course, this is brought to you by McDonald's. Stay tuned to SB Nation for all things previews and reviews and all things NCAA tournament. We'll see you soon.